Welcome to another episode of the brand called You, a video and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from hundreds of successful people from around the world. Today, it is my privilege to welcome a very accomplished individual from Mumbai who's an architect but also in e-commerce, Ritika Kothari. Ritika, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh. It's great that we have this whole video podcast thing going, and it has caught wind, and people are listening to real stories, and it's a great initiative that you've done. I know you've done about 400 interviews. That's fabulous.
Thank you, Ritika. So, Ritika, you're an architect, designer, and a digital media consultant, and you're also the founder of House of Ritika.
Yeah.
So, let me start by asking you, what are the three key milestones in your life or career?
In life, I would start with in life. First thing was my post graduation. I think that literally gave me the confidence to explore and go beyond my boundaries, because I was studying urban planning, but I ended up going to the villages. I ended up meeting artisans, and I'm thankful to my faculty who kind of gave me that liberty to specialize in something which was not my core domain. And it was also a time when there was a lot of personal conflict going on in my life. So that kind of marks the turning point in my life, where I became a confident person. Till that point, I was still not so confident about being a leader, being in charge, sort of thing. So that is when I discovered myself. The second turning point was failures. I started something, and then I just had to stop because I had a critical illness, and for a year I could not do anything. So that again was a turning point in life, where you think literally your world is over. You just started, and then it just came crashing down. So, and you think that literally your world is over, and I had to pick myself piece by piece and build whatever I had to. But yeah, I think that these two moments, I just carry them with me always.
Fantastic. So, you qualified as an architect and a designer,
Yes.
and now you are running an e-commerce company. What made you decide on this change?
So the base is design, Ashutosh. I was always of the creative bent of mind. Everybody in my family is a doctor.
Okay.
I chose not to become one because I was always very creative, very curious since childhood. And I studied fashion for a year, realized I don't like it. Then I went and studied architecture. I loved architecture, but I realized that I don't like buildings.
Okay.
I somehow don't like buildings. I like interiors. I like the small things, small details that go inside the building, in creating the building. I don't like the structure. So then, by chance, I got to study, do my master's in a school which is the Mecca of design in India. So also Ahmedabad as a city, the school is in Ahmedabad. So Ahmedabad as a city is culturally very rich. So that again, I would say those were my formative years, where I got exposed to artisans in the villages of Kutch, because we were doing some live projects there as a part of a curriculum. So that is where the base of building a platform came into my mind. So design was always there, but I took my first step towards e-commerce with an offline show. So in college hostel, we just made a few candles, and we met an artisan who was making amazing products. So there was a Diwali Mela happening, and we just thought we'll put up a stall. So that's how I thought, that entrepreneurial Kida in me came out. And we started in, I still remember it was room number 46 in the college hostels, where we were making candles and packaging. And then we sold. And we sold stuff, and we could pay the, artist.
Okay.
I was like, this should be scaled up. It was scalable. And with that basic sensibility, I ventured into the e-commerce world, where again, it's everything is about design, decor. We sell furniture, we sell artisanal products. So yeah.
Let's talk about House of Ritika. What is the range of work that you do in House of Ritika?
Okay. So Ashutosh, if I see chronologically, I did the whole e-commerce thing post my graduation for 3-4 years, and after 3-4 years, it was a set pattern, it was a set cycle, and I'm a person who gets bored very easily. So if you ask me what my motivation is, it's actually boredom. So I got bored. I got to a point where I was like, oh, this is the same thing happening again and again. There is no innovation. My vendors are set. My supply chain is set. Everything is set.
Sure.
And I was at a crossroad, and I thought, what I should figure out what makes me happy. This was before the book Ikigai came in. I set out with this dear friend called Fiona. So she's traveled across the world, lived in New York, lived in the UK quite a bit, and she's come up with a set of questions
Right.
that helps you discover yourself. I went through that entire process for 3 months. I had gone through a lot of personal setbacks, so there was a lot of baggage, So I wanted to find out what actually makes me happy. And what came out was talking to people makes me happy, networking makes me happy, creating beautiful content makes me happy, bringing out stories makes me happy. Now we had to figure out a way how to, actually make it into a product which was sellable. So I just started out on a women fancy at a friend's studio. I called a few of my friends who had done, some work in the design field. Some of them are musicians, some of them are accomplished DJs, and I just spoke to them. And it was really amazing. And this was 2-3 years back when podcast in India was not a big thing.
Okay.
So I spoke to them, and it was received with so much love and warmth that we decided that we should structure the entire thing. So I took the whole concept, the pilot episode, to a brand. I said, this is what I do. And would you like to, sponsor me to make the production quality better, to make it larger than life, to, bring out more stories, to reach out to more people? Because actually, right now, what we are doing, it requires a lot of back end work, which most people don't realize. They say, oh, kya sab seedhe aake baat to kare. No, there is a lot of research that goes out. There's a lot of personal profiling that goes out. There's a lot that goes out in the and when you're shooting offline, then you have the whole camera setup, you have the whole angles, you have the whole production value to it. So it was an Italian institute, and they were more than happy to back the idea. So that's how House of Ritika started with a talk show.
And when I was looking at your website, and I was looking at, there are 3 segments that I saw very clearly defined. One is branding, one is digital marketing, and the third is videos.
Yes.
Tell me about what you do for a client in each of these 3 segments.
So usually there are 2 or 3 types of clients that come to us. Some are established brands who want to create a presence. So usually these are international brands who are trying to set up their Indian market. And the second type of clients are like the startups who have just got funding, and they don't know how to spend the money. They don't know how to market themselves. So what we do is we actually also help. And the third type is the old and established Indian brands who need to, like, their sons have taken over, and now they want to rebrand themselves and give themselves a fresh look. So as a part of branding, we actually have the entire look and feel. We actually have the entire visual communication in place, so that your story is similar, it's uniform across all the platforms. It's basic of marketing, but we have the edge because we are a very design heavy team. So the visuals that we create have been appreciated a lot by people. And today's world, it's all about how things look.
Correct.
Because you're literally judging a person on basis of how they are presenting themselves. And as the show is called, the brand called you, it's how you present yourself as well. So the entire packaging.
Very nice.
The second part, digital marketing. I mean, it's some brands need it, some brands don't need it, but everybody is running ads these days.
Yeah.
But there are different ways. You can run your own ads through Instagram now. It's become very simple. But actually, there's a lot that goes out in the back end. So what we do is focused on ROI. So we only do ROI driven brand strategies. So if you are not getting anything out of it, why would you pay me? That's my basic funda. So we make sure that we have a fixed fee and a revenue share, so that my entire team is also motivated enough, to get you your revenue.
Okay.
So that's what we do with digital marketing and videos. Videos is something I think brand films, talk shows, anything and everything that has a visual appeal in motion makes a whole lot of difference
Mm.
because the visual communication has evolved and our attention span has gone down and
Mm.
down. So videos just help us. It's more animated. Videos just help us get the attention and engage the audience in a better way. So
Very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, that's it.
And you also, in the videos part, I also was reading that you also do web series.
Yeah, we just okay. Pre-COVID, we were fortunate enough to shoot one episode, which was a home makeover web series with one of my favorite celebrities. So we did up their entire space, and we actually filmed the entire journey, which
Okay.
most celebrities find intrusive, right? Like they don't want to share their
Mhm.
homes, and he was happy enough to do it. We are, I mean, we could not shoot the remaining episodes because of the pandemic, but that episode also we could launch it in May, and a lot of people. In fact, it was good because people were sitting at home and watching content. So we
Right.
got a great visibility because of that. So it's a
Right.
part of the larger series.
So, when I was again reading about you, you define House of Ritika as an aspirational space.
Yeah.
What does this mean?
Aspirational in terms of you. I used to get all these DMs all the time that, oh, you're so inspiring.
Mm.
We love to see your life. We love to, we love what you're doing. We want
Mhm.
to become like you. So I thought I should curate the platform and give people tips, tell them how it can be done because and they're like you make it look so effortless. Then I said no, it's not effortless. I will show you how it is done.
Mm.
So now the content that I make, I try and show people because smaller brands, to be honest, Ashutosh, they don't have that kind of budget to pay a consultant
Correct.
their fee.
Mm.
I mean, I feel that giving these small tips and tricks kind of helps them grow, and it's building me a community of followers who genuinely appreciate my work.
Mm.
So it is aspirational to an extent where brands want to get to a point where I've logged in international clients just sitting on my computer from my home, and everybody wants to know how you do it. So I break down that step, break down the process,
Mhm.
and that's why I call it aspirational.
Okay, that's a great answer. And so if I'm a brand owner and I want to seek your help, what are the steps you would take to help me promote my brand?
First and foremost, I would ask you questions that would make you uncomfortable
Okay.
because it's all about. I mean, I'm sure you are in a difficult scenario or you're doing extremely well, and you want to boost that. That's why you've come to me. So I need to know the reality of your business. If I don't know your reality, if I don't know how you're performing, if I don't know your numbers, I wouldn't be able to help you in any way. So the other USP that I have is the personal touch. When I'm consulting, I would not take up more than 4 retainers or more than 5 things because it's House of Ritika. In the end, it's me, and I can only do this much.
Correct.
So the personal touch, Ashutosh, adds a lot of value, and we have only stuck to the lifestyle domain.
Mm.
So we are not selling ghee, we are not selling any FMCG product, we are not selling because that's not my forte.
Mm.
We're only doing lifestyle based life. Even our clients are from the domain. So our base work and our research is already done to an extent. Then I try to understand the brands, the brand owner, what they stand for, what their ethos are, and then it's a whole process of
Okay.
getting to know through workshops, through different and there is no one set rule because each brand is at a different phase.
Correct.
So I mean, it's just it starts with getting to know you and then giving you the best solution to reach your goal.
Correct. So, my next question is that, a lot of people I speak to say that they are experts in digital media and you are an influencer.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you different from a lot of what a lot of other people are, claim to be doing?
Yeah, what? Because I've learned from my own mistakes. I've applied. So how I got into digital media is a funny story. I had my own e-commerce brand. I went to 2 3 media experts and asked them to scale it up. They could not because they didn't have that sense of ownership, or probably they didn't understand the domain. Then I took up, like, there was this distance learning course from IMB. I said, okay, fine, let me study, let me learn. And
Mhm.
I learned digital marketing and I applied on my own brand. And we failed. We had trial and errors. We learned so much, and I think that's my USP, because now, after so much research on my own brand, I have kind of understood what works and what doesn't in our domain,
Okay.
in the lifestyle segment, and that's why I stick to even consulting with people who are in our domain. Anything related to space, decor, lifestyle product, or even fashion to an extent.
Mm.
But I think that's the USP. I've already tried and tested it on my own brand.
No, that's wonderful. And one more question for you. You are in home decor
Yeah,
also, and home decor is a very very unorganized space.
absolutely.
So, what goes into building a brand for home decor?
It it, as I said, it started from doing a small stall to a store which was an offline store to now jumping to e-commerce. It took us 5 to 6 years, to actually build the brand and get it here. And still, to be honest, still it is absolutely chaotic and unorganized, because there are two types of clients. Not everybody is still comfortable buying furniture online. In
Mm.
India, it's very nascent. IKEA has just come in. So it is an organized, unorganized sector. It is chaotic. What goes into building a brand is, it it's about how you portray in the end, everything, how you portray, and what is that one thing which is different. Like, Pepperfry is a brand which clearly offers you goods. They
Mhm.
stick to only sending you products. That's it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that is clearly defined. A live space is creating these spaces. That is clearly defined. But the mammoth task of getting laborers, contractors, and all of these people
Mhm.
on one platform, it's a challenge. And if you've seen the recent reports, there are a lot of complaints against, all of these things, because it's a very hyper-local activity.
Mhm.
You can't, you will need to have your local electrician go and check how work is done.
Correct.
So it has to have, I always say that it has to have the basic sensibilities of any banya business,
Mhm.
like running a kirana store, plus your current digital marketing show. And then when you combine both of them, your offline and online presence will give you the right amount of revenue that is required to sustain such a thing. That's why most of the things just don't work. They just shut down. Most of the brands shut down because they just get the funding and go crazy with marketing themselves digitally, but they're not focusing on the sales. So I
Mhm.
always say, just focus on the sales from wherever you're getting, and monitor that, that thing. It could be offline, it could be a pop-up, it could be something else. So it
Right.
just can't be one source. It always has to have multiple sources.
Understand. So, I'm going to now move to the next part of our conversation, which is some questions for you personally.
Yeah.
You know, very, very young, and you've seen a lot of success already, and there's a, I'm sure,
I
very, very successful life ahead of you. What does success mean to Ritika?
It's very corny, but to see somebody happy because of me, it actually makes me feel successful. That, oh, I was successful to give somebody what they asked me for. So, be it a client, I mean, I'm doing two different things. Sometimes I'm building homes, and sometimes I just do work for passion. So some of it I've divided my time in a way that certain amount of my time is only for things that make me happy. And if they're generating revenue, great. If not, it still makes me happy, and that I feel is success. The other measure of success for me is when I get all those cute messages and DMs, and I feel so overwhelmed. I'm like, I'm making a difference into somebody's life. So
Correct.
yeah, these are the two things that literally
Fantastic.
make me
And
happy.
that's an interesting segue to my next question. You are a creative person,
Yeah.
as you said yourself. Where do you get your inspiration from?
From everyday life, from stories, from people's experiences. As I said, I just talk to so many people in a day, and the podcast, the video shows, they just keep me going. They just add fuel to the fire.
Okay. Okay.
So
Good
yeah,
answer. And my next question is that if you, Ritika, were a role model to millions of children who closely followed your life choices, what is the one thing you would change in yourself?
Sometimes I tend to get very moody and lazy,
Mhm.
which is a fact of life, which all of us are. But I learned discipline a lot later in life. I wish I had the same discipline I have right now a couple of years ago. Yeah, that's all I think. The discipline
Terrific.
now I have. Learned it the hard way, but I wish I had it earlier.
Wonderful. So I don't have time for two more questions for you.
So,
My next question is that, we all learn when we fail
absolutely.
or we make a mistake. What has been your biggest learning from your biggest mistake?
So my biggest mistake was again, pulling in all my money into an inventory-heavy business and not realizing how I will sell all those products. It just went out. I got money. I just went out and bought 500 things, and I didn't know how to sell. So that was my biggest learning when for when demonetization happened and our sales dropped by 70%, and I was like, oh my god, there is a way where things don't get sold, and they're still lying. It becomes your dead property. It's sitting on your head. So that is what I learned from my failure. That going lean,
Mhm.
even if you have the money, even if you have the resources, going lean is actually what will work in the long run. It's sustainable.
Terrific. And Ritika, my last question to you, and I come back to the pandemic, which has affected all our lives
Yeah.
all over the world. How are you rethinking your life and business looking ahead?
We have literally restructured everything. To be honest, the sales didn't happen for my other businesses. Sales didn't happen for 6 to 7 months.
Mhm.
So we just shut shops, and we decided anyway digital is our forte. So let's move everything online. So this Diwali we are launching our newer look, the newer website. The only plus was my other business started doing well because everybody suddenly wanted a digital presence, and
Right.
then brands who were established with 100 crores of turnover sitting in the country started calling us. They were like, oh, I remember you had asked us for a video show. Why don't you do it now? Because now there is no other option.
Correct.
So I would say the lockdown was amazing for me and a great learning because I myself realized the strength of being digitally present, and also the best part about my team was they never quit. So the shoots weren't happening, and we were predominantly making videos, which was a very offline sort of a thing. But what they came up with was amazing, and they said, why not take the entire offline concept online? And we curated the first ever virtual design experience. It was a conference of 1 week with amazing speakers. There were panel discussions. We tied up with this software company that makes 3D visualizations, so all the brands could actually upload their products into the software, and everybody sitting at home, and everybody was sitting at home, so we got amazing participation as well. So I think I love my team for just having that concept of never giving up and reinventing themselves, renovating themselves whenever we are hit with something.
Fantastic. Ritika, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure speaking to you. I wish you and
Likewise.
also Ritika lots of success.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh. It's been brilliant talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.